Dawkins and Francis Collins, when they were debating, he said, Haşa, if Dawkins said that if God exists, Haşa, He must be much more greater than what you imagine. This is what Dawkins says. He doesn't use conscience. He's not without the heart. He's not without the conscience, because he says if a Darwinian society prevailed, the world would be in a disaster. He says, I don't want to live in a Darwinian society, but he has a little conscience. How can he not understand? How can he not understand? All these things, for example, all those processes in the cells, they take place in a very, very short amount of time. Thousands of operations. It's a huge, gigantic library. Let's say the biggest library in the UK. They find a single line of information within hundreds of thousands of books of. They find that line, exact line, in such a short amount of time, in whatever of a second. They find it. They say, look, I want this protein. They say, okay, let's do it immediately. They immediately bring the parts that are needed. He says, look, I'm going to unzip the DNA. They pull it apart. They copy the parts there. They say, okay, we copied. Then they put the parts necessary on top of them. They say, look, let me check. They say, look, here is a mistake. Then the repairers come. The new replacements come. The new parts are put in place of that. And then this is happening in whatever of a second. What is this? They say this is a coincidences. In the end times, when he goes there, Allah will ask him, how did this happen? He says, of course, you're infinitely powerful, and of course you did it. Allah says, why didn't you believe in me in the world? He says, please send me back to the world and I will be a believer. Allah says, you were given time. He says, yes, I was given time. Allah says, if I send you back, you will do the same. That idiot thinks that he will go to the world, he will go back to the world with that information. If he was really sent back to the world and with his memory erased, he says, buddy, I had a horrible nightmare. And